When you've just come out of university, you're fresh, ready to take on challenges, and you are young and have the time to fail and keep failing, it would be now. When CtrlD started, we were not a game development studio, we were creative tech, but we ultimately knew we wanted to get into games because the first project that spurred the creation of the studio was a game project. A lot of people say, like, when you're able to make money out of something that you love, you know, that's kind of where you've been able to make it, yeah. When we started the community and when we started to do events, so we do like the Game Jam every year, and I always try to make sure that I get people from outside the Sarawakian community to come in, because for me, basically, we need people to come in and elevate everyone else.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Change Makers. In this episode, I'm going to meet a very talented young individual, an entrepreneur, and also a game developer, and also co-founder of CtrlD. She's going to take me on her journey into the world of gaming development. See you, let's go. Hi Suan.
Hi Salleh.
Thank you so much for bringing me to where the magic begins. Yeah. So guys, we're here at Suan's office, yeah, where I think everything she produces happens here. So maybe I think for the audiences that wish to know a little bit more about Suan, probably we can dive in deeper first on CtrlD itself. Yeah.
Okay.
How did it start, and how did you even come with the name?
Okay. So CtrlD, when we first thought of the name, this was like, okay, we are technically designers. However, we have programming experience from our training in university. And then when we wanted to start a company, it was like, okay, we wanted to represent everything that we did in design, but also getting people to understand that we do it digitally. So that's why CtrlD is, like, the control is CTRL, which is what you see on the keyboard. And D actually stands for dimensions and design. So we can do design and we can do it in both 2D and 3D. So I studied at Swinburne, Sarawak. So funny enough, I actually don't come from a games background.
Really?
Yeah, so I come from multimedia design. So myself and my partner Joshua, we both come from multimedia design. Basically, actually what the multimedia design course was teaching us is lots of basically like design processes, but they also gave us programming knowledge. So that, I guess that is why they called it multimedia.
Multimedia design, actually it's a very broad spectrum, if you might say so, right? So what triggered you to do game development?
Okay, so our final year project, they weren't very specific. They didn't say you had to make a game. However, for our team, we were like, okay, let's try, because as long as the project was interactive, I think that like you would be able to move on with that project.
Yeah.
However, for us, it was like, okay, if it's going to be interactive, we could make it a game. Like, let's try. The games industry in Malaysia as a whole is already quite well seasoned. We have a lot of outsourced studios. We have a lot of talents who have jobs in Malaysia, working in the games industry. Indie studios, especially like myself and CtrlD, we definitely have quite some ways to grow, and to hopefully attract like international attention. In Sarawak specifically, I think as a community leader, I would just love to see more opportunities come in for the community. That was one of the few things that we wanted to achieve when we started. And I always try to make sure that I get people from outside the Sarawakian community to come in. If the Sarawak community is here and I just keep getting people at the same level to come in, then we will never grow. However, I can get people from KL, from international, let's say like Singapore, to come in with more knowledge, more experience, to come in and teach and share. Then, we go from here to here, hopefully, So that is my sort of rationale going into this. And that is what I hope the community will continue to do and to receive, especially. Yeah.
Failing 100 times and you get back up 100 times. It's the way of business. Right? Have you ever encountered a time where you suddenly thought to yourself, I just want to quit. I don't think this is going to take me anywhere.
Definitely. There have been times, I think much earlier on, where we just it just felt like, okay, this, like, we don't really know. I think one, because we were new business owners, right? So having a strategy to move on how to push the business forward was also tough, because we just didn't really understand what to do, honestly. We kept going with our intuition, what we knew we could do, what was capable for us at that time. We pursued projects like that, and just to hone our skills. And even though those projects did not bring in that much money, the most unexpected, and that was being able to secure a title license for 4 hours with Xbox. I remember just kind of like getting ready for work, and then I heard the email. I heard an email sound, and then I checked, and it was the approval email. And then at that point, I think I probably wanted to cry, because it was like, this is it. This is the one thing that myself and Joshua had been waiting for, and it was the one thing that kept us moving forward. Yeah.
So what I'm going to show now is a demo that we brought to the shows. We have basically, this is how the story gets told through a little bit of dialogue. I will just run through it. So what you're seeing now is just a very basic tutorial that teaches you all the basic functions. So the main character is this character. You can also see a more clear version of her here. This is Mai. So she's an employee in a fictional agency, and her agency is facing an invasion of monsters, and she's now been tasked to handle that. So this is a basic tutorial teaching you how to place your traps, how to place them, how to sell them. So the enemies these purple orbs here, this is the path of the enemies that will be coming, and it's pretty straightforward because it's a tutorial. So they will just be coming one straight line to this. So your goal here is not to let them get through the door.
Have you ever become a speaker or a judge or a panelist for any events for that matter?
Yes, so I have done multiple panels. Interestingly enough, panels were also the way I was able to get myself into the industry and get my name out there. And I was on a panel with a few other female developers in Singapore that was for an Xbox developer event. These are also like international speakers, so I'm also, in a way, I'm like a Malaysia representative, which, when I put it out there, it sounds like quite a big,
it is
weight on my shoulders.
Representing Malaysia.
Yeah.
For enthusiasts trying to actually get into the games industry, I would say the number one thing you do need to have is at least some financial stability. Please don't jump into it thinking that you're going to make a whole ton of money, because very often that is not the case. The next thing is that you do need to have a lot of grit and confidence to put yourself out there and be proud of your work, because that aspect of game development, a lot of people don't see it, but it's the marketing and it's the talking about you and your studio and your game. A lot of people don't see that, and they don't know that that is a big part of marketing your own game. So that is a fear that actually myself and Joshua have had to get over. And with time, we eventually just got over it. What keeps me going? I think honestly, a love for my craft is one of it. We come from a background that loves creating. We are creative people, and transitioning into games, that was no different. So loving what we did before games, and now even in games, we love it even more. So I think like that is one of the few things that keep me going as a creative person. And a lot of people say, like, when you're able to make money out of something that you love, that's kind of where you've been able to make it. Yeah. I want to reach my final form. It's like when you get to a final boss, and then you're not done when the health bar empties, but the music still goes on. I personally hope to reach some sort of final form for myself. I don't know what that is, but I want to get myself there in terms of like creatively, as in my creative work. And I think that's probably my final goal for now for myself. As a female founder in a still very dominant, like male-dominant industry, I've been able to make it places by just being confident in myself and understanding how to put myself out there. I understand that does mean that I am an inspiration to others. However, I am also very much inspired by other people, and I hope what I've been able to say today and my journey will inspire everyone else to become change makers.